Hey guys, it's Jess. So this is my coffee with me video. But I just wanted to talk about something that I touched about on the last video, how to have quaranTIME with family. Alright, before I start this video, I just wanted to have this disclaimer. This video is based off of my experience. My experience with my family is really good. I grew up in church in a Christian family, and my parents are amazing and they are very loving. I understand some of your parents might not even be there. Some of you guys don't even have Christian parents. Some of you don't have both of your parents. Some of you have abusive parents. And I just wanted to state my heart hurts for you, and I'm praying for you, and I want to be there for you. This time might seem really restraining to you. He is the dad that will never leave you, never forsake you. He loves you and he wants you. Yeah, I am praying for you in this time, and I really hope that God takes care of you and shows you that he has a plan for you and he has some sort of growth that he wants you to get out of this time in quarantine. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, because this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and you may have a long life in the land that I have given you. It's been on my heart that I need to do a lot better with this during this quarantine. And so I just wanted to share it with you guys, and hopefully you guys could get something out of it as well. And so the first thing that I just wanted to say is we are called to honor and obey our parents. This is a lifelong thing. And the only time that the Bible talks about leaving your parents, it does not ever say to stop honoring your parents. This is why a man leaves his father and mother and bonds with his wife, and they become one flesh. You go from honoring your parents to honoring your husband. To honor your parents, this is a practice to honor your husband in the future. To sum it up, each one of you is to love his wife as himself, and the wife is to respect her husband. That's just something that God has been putting on my heart, is instead of focusing on a relationship, or instead of trying to find the man that I want for myself or the husband that I want to marry, instead I want to be the wife that I want my husband to marry. I want to become the woman that I want my husband to marry. And if that's the case, then why would I be with my family right now dishonoring and disrespectful and unloving? Because that would show right there that I'm not going to be loving or honoring or respecting to my husband or my own family, my own kids. We are placed in this quarantine. We are placed at home with our family. And yes, it feels like we're stuck. It feels like there's nothing else we could do, which is kind of true, but God placed us here for a reason. And for me personally, and I think for a lot of you guys, God placed you to be with your family so that you could grow in your relationships with them, but also so you could practice to be the wife and the woman that you want to be in the future. So you could practice that loving and honoring and respecting that you're going to give eventually to your husband. Also, just to be an example to your siblings. I understand, yes, you might be an adult, but if you have siblings looking up to you. They are looking at how you face your parents. They're looking at how you respect them. They're looking at how you treat them. And if you're treating them with disrespect and you're not honoring them, then they're gonna think that they could do the same thing. So the next verses that I wanted to go over is Proverbs 31. I'm not gonna go in depth with this because I know with the Proverbs study, I am going to have a long video just talking about Proverbs 31. But I just wanted to share a couple of the things that that the noble character, the noble wife has. And it's something that I want to grow in, and I think that using it with my family is the first possible way I could grow in this. And so I'm just gonna list off different personality traits and different character traits that this noble woman had, and just share how you could do this with your family. She is precious, she is right, she is all good and no evil. She is trustworthy, she is willing, she is not lazy, she is a caretaker. She is a hard worker, she is giving, she has strength from God, she has wisdom, she is loving, she is not anxious, she is blessed, she fears the Lord, and she is not focused on looks, and she is not insecure. She is trustworthy. I think that's something that you could work on with your family. If you are constantly doing things behind their backs, lying to them, not telling them things that you're struggling with, not letting them be there for you, and you're just not trustworthy to them, that's something that you're practicing right now that will cause you to do this in your future relationships with your significant other. The next thing is the fact that she's willing. She's willing to work, she's willing to do the chores around the house, she's willing to care for the family. Again, something that you could be practicing with your family right now. You could be working around the house, you could be cleaning up after yourself, but also practice cleaning up after your siblings, cleaning up after your parents. Because if you're practicing that right now, then that will help you be that wife and be that woman who is willing to care and willing to love for your family in the future. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is that she is not lazy. What if you just decided to make one meal a week for your family? That's something that will just help you grow and realize that this is something that I could do in the future with my husband. Like, it's so cool that we could use this time, this quarantine time where we're at home, we could just cook. Something that's so fun and so, I wouldn't say easy, I'm not the best cook, but it's something that is just easy to do and easy to use to respect your family. Another thing is she's a caretaker. She takes care of her family. If you have siblings and you're not taking care of them, like, what are you doing? I do that a lot. I'm not really good about taking care of my siblings, but it's something that you could practice on during this time, is taking care of your siblings. You might have children in the future, and you will already have that practice of taking care of children. She is not anxious. Something that I kind of talked about already, but if you watch my last video, I kind of talk about how to deal with that she can laugh without fear of the future. She doesn't have fear of the future. She is not anxious. She realizes that God is in control. That's something that you could be doing right now, laughing without fear of the future, because you know that God's in control. And show that to your family. Be an example to your family. In verse 30, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord will be praised. So kind of like what I talked about in the last video, something that you could practice is just working on your spiritual life. And in the last video, I discussed like how you can do that. But that's just something that I wanted to close with, because I think that overall, your respect and your love for your family is gonna be more off of your relationship with God. It's gonna better if your relationship with God is thriving. It's gonna worsen if your relationship with God is not doing good. And so I think the first thing that you should do is practice your fear of the Lord. And that doesn't mean to be scared of God, but fear of the Lord is just that high respect that you have for God, that high love that you have for God, that you will do anything it takes, whatever God is calling you to do. And I just think that's something that you should practice, that will not only be an example to your siblings, but also to your parents, and also it'll just help you realize that your parents and your family are given to you. They're a blessing. Even if there is sometimes struggle, sometimes fights, they are something that God has given you. And so, yeah. I just wanted to share that I am praying for you guys, whatever situation you have at home, and I just pray that God is working in you and growing in your relationship with your family, but also with Him. And yeah, thank you for watching. God bless you.